So, let's talk about the Wolves-Arsenal game. Now, I didn't watch the game live, but I had it on record, and I made sure that I stayed off of social media before actually watching the game. And I ended up watching the game, and I thought, you know what, we played really well in the beginning, or at least until the first 45 minutes before injury time. I thought we played incredibly well, and you could have seen Arsenal looking to kind of create chances and have some type of later impact in the second half. However, David Luiz, as much as I'd like to give him praise for this, I can't. I think that in the last few months, I think he's been good. He hasn't really done anything wrong. But that again was a David Luiz moment, and I know what people are gonna say in the comments. Oh, but Neomis, he didn't intentionally try to do it. It only just nicked like the edge of David Luiz's knee. That ain't got nothing to do with it. Intent has nothing to do with the laws. I listened to the commentary on BT Sport afterwards, where the referee expert talked about it, and intent has nothing to do with it. If a player has a goal scoring opportunity and you touch him and he's in the box, it is a penalty and a red card. That is the rules. Hands down. You can't get away from that. And David Luiz has made these type of fouls in the box before that have led to penalties. What you do, like, no. It's just so disappointing. And right at the end of half-time, where you could say that it looks like Arsenal were playing really well, and it looks like I would have said that we were the better side, even though you couldn't sleep on Wolves. You know that Wolves are a sleeping giant, which is why I predicted a 1-1 draw. And then when you look at how the game went, you just thought Arsenal were naturally going to do more. And I mean, these were some of my notes. So, virtually seconds after kickoff, Thomas Partey, ball from deep. Thomas Partey, who was probably our best player in the Arsenal match yesterday. Ball came in from deep to Saka. Literally, it was like on FIFA when you do a chip through ball. So chip through ball to Saka. Saka then runs onto it, and he doesn't connect properly because it ends up going slightly wide and wide enough whereby it hit the post, which I thought was good again. And then later on in the game, in the first half, Saka gets another chance whereby the ball comes in. He just turns and fires it and just shoots it straight at goal. But Rui Patricio gets down and saves it well. And then later on in the first half, you had Cedric had a pass to Holden, who flicks it on to Lacazette. Lacazette then passes it to Saka, and Saka scores. But the goal was ruled offside because Lacazette had literally half a leg offside, which, you know, it was a rightly disallowed goal, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. But, I mean, those were probably the best parts of the game. But I would say that Arsenal played well, and it's just a shame the game ended how it is. Now, if we had all 11 players on the pitch, and don't worry, I'm going to get to BERND LENO in a second, but if we had all 11 players out on the pitch, could we have won this game? I think it's possible. However, I do believe that it would have probably have been a draw if things had stayed with 11 men. I think it's a possibility we could have won maybe a 2-1 victory towards Arsenal. But with that, if David Luiz had stayed on, I think you never know what could happen. But I think a draw would have been the minimum what we would have gotten out of this game. If you take out the penalty, because the goal scored by João Moutinho, brilliant. Brilliant goal by João Moutinho. There was no stopping that. I think that goal is happening either way. Like, no amount of defenders was going to stop that, and I don't even think two goalkeepers in goal would have stopped that one. So brilliant goal from him. But for me, it was the penalty one that was avoidable. I think it's a bit unlucky by David Luiz if you're thinking it as a football fan. But rules are rules, and it's unfortunate that it happened. Now, I want to talk about BERND LENO, the clusterfuck as BERND LENO. As in, what the fuck was you thinking, BERND LENO? Why BERND LENO? Like, I've been a supporter of BERND LENO, but to see him capitulate like that, laughable. Why not just kick the ball like way out in Rosette? He comes in looking like he's not sure whether he's gonna kick it or punch it out. It's just instant red card and he's off. What makes it worse is Matt Ryan, I didn't know, had a hip injury. He got it in training. And guess what? The one player that I criticized, Runnison, had to come on. Oh God. Oh sweet Jesus, help us. So we've got Leno out. I believe it's just for one game. And Runnison's going to come in our next game, which is against Aston Villa, which are going to be a tough side. And I'm telling you this now. Do not sleep on Aston Villa. They have good solid players in every single position. I would say they only got one superstar, and that's Jack Grealish. But everybody else knows their role. They knows what they have to do. They have a strategy, and they have the players in their starting 11 to be able to execute their strategy. We can't be sleeping on these guys. And now to have BERND LENO out because of his stupidity, because his sending off was avoidable. Like, it was. I mean, I would say even more so than David Luiz, which is why I'm criticizing him far more than David Luiz. For him to come out like that, I mean, he lost his absolute fucking mind. To everybody out there talking about Emiliano Martinez, when we're facing Emiliano Martinez in the next game, you just have to wonder why. Why? I don't get it. I don't get it. Now, I'm recording this video the day after the game, and I just have to hope that Matt Ryan that his hip injury isn't a big deal, that he could come back and start against Aston Villa. Because I'm telling you this, I worry for Runnison. I really do. Like, my prediction for the Aston Villa game is a draw. I pointed this out last month in terms of the games that I felt that we needed to pick up draws against. Wolves was one of them. Manchester United was one of them. And Aston Villa was one of them. We have now not got draws against Wolves. We've got no points against Wolves this season. And we've got Villa next, who we lost in the first half of the season. So we have to do something. We have to do something. In the game against Villa, at least we'll have 11 players on the pitch. And you just have to hope nobody gets sent off. Now, there is a talk about Gabriel being a bit rash. But you just have to hope that, you know, he's level-headed. And I think Gabriel, for me, is a better defender than David Luiz. I think he's been a bit unlucky with not being able to get back into the side. But I think this is a great opportunity for Gabriel to come in, start to cement his position once again in that starting 11. But disappointing from Arsenal against Wolves. And then against Villa, I expect the same team to start. The only difference is that I would think that instead of... No, I think it's going to be the same team. I know Aubameyang came back, but I don't think Aubameyang will start. Here's my logic with that. Pepe scored a brilliant goal. He beat two players and actually crossed it in... Sorry, scored with his right foot, which is a miracle in essence. You know, the one-legged player that I've been talking about decided that he grew a second leg. It's great. I love it. And I don't think you can drop him. Like, he's playing well, or at least in this last game he played well and scored a goal. So it's like, why are you dropping him? Have Aubameyang train, have him on the bench. If things don't go well, then you bring on Oba. But for me, I'd continue on with Pepe. I'd still have Saka on the right, Smith Rowe playing, of course Thomas Partey. I don't want Xhaka, but for the most part he's been pretty decent. So I could see Granit Xhaka playing. And then in defence, yeah, it's just Gabriel to come in, and it's just Runnison to go and goal. If Matt Ryan isn't healthy. That would be my starting 11 against Aston Villa. So do leave your comments below on that. What do you think your score prediction for Villa will be? And also, what do you think of the clusterfuck known as Arsenal, particularly BERND LENO, and your thoughts on the Wolves game? But until then, I will see you all on my next video, which there's a link in the description below. But until then, I'll see you all next time. Peace.